Hi, this is Elias with Canine Perspective. Today we are here with Luna, a part of our 4-week board and train program. In this video we're going to be going over the working number. The working number is what we're going to be using for training. This is not a static number. This can change based on the environment, based on what we're working on and how well or how poorly Luna is doing as far as if she's wanting to follow through with the command and everything like that. So keep in mind not to get too tied to one number. Before we go into how we're going to find the working number, I'm going to explain our current setup that we have the e-collar on Luna. We have the 1900S Black Edition. We have the receiver on the left side of her neck right now. The receiver is where the box is, where the contact points are. And then we're using a slip lead that is highest up on the neck here. Normally we want to keep the e-collar as high up on the neck as possible just because it's going to be more sensitive and more consistent and just a comfortable fit for Luna overall. But with the slip lead, since it tends to constrict around the neck as there's more pressure added, for example, if she was pulling, we don't want to put all that extra pressure low on her throat. So in order to have it most comfortable for her and have the proper fit of the slip lead, we have that highest up on the neck and then the e-collar right below it. So for example, if you were to be using a flat collar, the e-collar would be above that because it doesn't do the constricting thing that the slip lead does. Other than that, one thing to keep in mind with the tightness of the e-collar, you want to judge the tightness by the contact points of the receiver, not by the strap. Sometimes the strap can feel a little too tight or a little too loose, but the contact points are what need to make good, consistent contact in order for us to get consistent stimulation, and we can rely that every time we tap on the e-collar, that stimulation is going to be sent to Luna and we're able to kind of make the commands happen. If there is not good contact with the contact points, then sometimes we may tap on the e-collar and then Luna won't feel anything. Just makes it inconsistent, especially during emergency situations, and it could be moving around a lot more. The reason why I have the receiver on the left side of her neck and why we don't want it to move from the left or the right position is we don't put it on the bottom of the neck just because having the two contact points on her throat for a long period of time can be uncomfortable. And then we don't put it on the top of the neck because having the contact points right along the spine can be a little too overstimulating for some dogs. So we keep it on the left or the right side. So now that we've gone over that, we can go ahead and jump into the working number. When finding the working number, we're also going to be looking for two other numbers known as the connection number and the perception number. The easiest way to describe this is, let's say Luna is staring at another dog. We go to tap on the e-collar because we don't want her doing that. Then maybe we're pretty low on the e-collar, we tap, we notice a little twitch in Luna's neck muscle, but she's still staring at the dog, she doesn't break contact at all. That's what we would call connection because the e-collar is making connection with her neck, but it's not anything that she's noticing at all. Let's say we bump it up a little bit, tap on the e-collar, she's still staring at the dog, and then all of a sudden when we tap, she looks around a little bit as if maybe a bug was flying around her face or something like that. That's what we would call the perception number because now she notices that something is happening, but it's not concerning to her at all. It's not going to make her do anything differently, and she'll go back to looking at the dog. Now let's say we bump it up a little bit more past that, we tap on the e-collar, and now Luna does some type of large movement where she's laying down, sitting down, turning around, looking at us, something to let us know that that number now means something to her. It's concerning enough to her to where she's going to have a change in behavior. That's what we're looking for with the working number because we want to make the number important to Luna so that she has a reason to follow through with the commands and everything. So in order to find that working number, the easiest way, especially starting out, a kind of method that we use to help find the working number as fast as possible is we're going to start with the e-collar at 5 and then we're going to tap 3 times. So every time I say tap, I'm hitting the bumpy button on the side, the nick function. So tap and then I hit it. After 3 times, we'll bump it up by 5 and we'll keep going up in increments of 5, tapping 3 times and seeing what Luna is showing us until we get to the working number. So we'll go ahead and get started with that now. We don't have to do anything, just we're at 5, tap, 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 okay, 10, tap, 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 still nothing, 15, tap, 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 20, tap, see what she's doing here, tap, tap, so still not noticing anything, just looking around, 25, tap, tap, so there, Let's let her settle a little bit. Tap. That's what we're looking for right now. So we'll stick with 25 at the moment because as you can see, the tap at 25, 2 in a row, pretty consistent, got her to move around a little bit. She was looking around, trying to figure out why that was happening. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for her to try things. We're looking for some concern from her to understand, like, what was that? I need to do something about that. So 25 is where we're at right now. Keep in mind, this is at our facility where things are pretty quiet. Dogs are pretty relaxed in the playpen, not much going on here. If we're outside at a park or something, we can probably expect this number to go up because the distractions are increasing. So we need to pick a number that's going to be more important to her. And then if we're doing stuff, or you guys are doing stuff with Luna in the house that she's already comfortable with, not a lot of distractions, you would most likely see the number go down. That being said, we're always going to try and pick whatever number is going to work best for Luna, even if we're expecting a certain number, just whichever one is going to work. That's where we'll leave it for now. 25 is her current working number at the moment, and we'll adjust as needed. So we'll move on with the rest of her training. Good job, Luna. Hi, this is Elias with Canine Perspective. Today we're here again with Luna. In this video, we're going to be going over heel part 1. We usually break up heel into 2 parts just so that we don't cover too much all in one go. So here we're just going to be covering the walking and the auto sits. 1 second. Here we're just going to be covering the walking of heel and then the auto sit of heel, which I'll go into more detail in a moment here. Before we get started with the command or anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and show you how we're going to be holding our leash. So what you're going to want to do if you're holding it with 2 hands, you're going to take this loop, put it over your thumb like that in your right hand, and then close over it so that way it's locked over your thumb and it's not going to go anywhere. In the other hand, you'll let it wrap over your first finger like that, making a second loop, close over it. Now you have 2 locks. If you want to hold it with 1 hand, you'll take this loop that was on the thumb on your right hand, bring it over. You have 2 loops in the 1 hand on the left side now. And that's just to make sure that you always have 2 locks, and then you're not going to hurt your fingers and it's not going to get away or anything like that. So I'll go ahead and do it in the 1 hand. When doing the walk, the proper amount of slack that I'm going to be giving Luna is a J-shaped loop at her armpit. You can kind of see it right there. That's just going to be a good amount of slack to where she's not going to be tripping over it and getting tangled up. And it's also not going to be too little slack to where we're basically pulling her around because we want to be able to correct her mistakes. So we need to give her enough slack to be able to make the mistakes. For heel, the correct positioning for Luna to be in is right shoulder in line with my left leg the entire walk. So once we're walking, she should stay in that position, stay walking with me. When I slow to a stop, she should sit down as well. And then that, ideally, once we get everything cleaned up, that shoulder should still be there even though she's in the auto sit. So right now we're just doing the walking. We're not going to say any words or anything like that. And what we'll be doing is a back and forth right here. She should try and remain in that right shoulder in line with my left leg position. If she passes me, I'm going to do a 180-degree turn and tap. The reason why I'm doing that and not just tapping on the e-collar is because the e-collar tapping is not going to be clear to her. She's not going to know what we're wanting her to do. So doing that 180-degree turn is redirecting her attention and letting her know, hey, we're going this way now, pay attention. And then as we do that, that's when everything will get kind of tightened up. If she decides to kind of fall behind while I'm walking and she's not in the position, I'll keep walking forward, tap on the e-collar until she catches up. If she goes to my right side, I'm going to keep forward, pull to the left, and tap until she's back over to my left side. That's all we're going to worry about for now, and we'll go ahead and get started. So again, we don't need to say any words. I'm giving her the proper amount of slack, and I'll keep my arm relaxed. We're at 25. Good. Here I'm going to tap. Good. Turn, tap. Shh. Good. Tap. Good. We're not being too strict right now. Turn, tap. Pull to the left, tap. Tap. We'll go to 30. Tap. 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 Here I'm going to go ahead and fix her paw. Give her the proper amount of slack. Pull to left tap. Good. Turn tap. Good. Turn tap. Good. Turn tap. Good. Turn tap. Good. Here I'm going to turn tap. Good. Turn tap. Pull to left tap. Tap. Turn tap. Pull to left tap. 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 Here I'm going to just turn. Pull to left tap. 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 There we go. So there, she's wanting to stay on my right side. Tap. Pull to left tap. Turn tap. We'll go to 35. Turn tap. Pull to left tap. Good. Turn tap. Turn. See what she does. Pull to left tap. Good. Turn tap. Go to 40. Here I'm going to just tighten the slip lead a little. Good. Tap. There she just decided to stop. Here I'm going to turn tap. Good. Turn. Good. Good. We're just turning. Good. She's paying attention a lot better there. Good. You see how she's looking at me now? Good. Here I'm going to turn tap. Pull to the left tap. Good. Just turn. Turn tap. Good. We'll give her a small break here. So her getting stuck on the right side there, she was kind of fighting it when I would add the pressure to the left, tap on the E-collar, and then she didn't want to go over to my left side. So we saw some resistance there, and that's what that extra pushing was, but I just kept forward, kept pulling to the left. She did get a little too tangled around me the one time, so then I just turned, got her back on my side, and then continued on. We ended up going up to 40. Again, this is just because we're having to tap a lot. We want to make the number important to her because we want her to understand and follow along. Nothing out of the ordinary here, just giving her a small break. We're going to do another short walk just to see if she's able to retain a little bit more now and kind of understand what's going on. But again, nothing out of the ordinary, just some general resistance of her not wanting to kind of walk and getting distracted, trying to do other things. So we'll go ahead and do another short walk, and we're going to start at 35. Tap. Good. Here I'm going to turn tap. Good. Here we're going to go to 40, tap. Turn. Good. Turn. Good. Good. Paying attention to me a little bit better. Good. We'll turn. Good. I'm not being super strict with her positioning right now. This is still okay. Good. Good. Here I'm going to turn tap. Good. Good job. Good job. Good. So that went pretty well for the second walk here. She was falling through a lot nicer, paying a lot better attention, and a lot less moments of resistance as well. So some good progress already, even though it's her first time with everything. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and work on the auto sit now. So for the auto sit, the reason why we like to incorporate it into our heel command is because it's going to keep Luna in a good position, whether we're walking or stopping. Shh. It's going to keep us in a good position whether we're walking or stopping, to where Luna is going to keep that right shoulder in line with our left leg, and it's also going to make sure that she's in a better position, which is sitting, more passive, where some minor distractions that may go by, she will be less likely to kind of go and follow her brain a little bit. So that's why we like to incorporate it with the command. The way that we make this happen is we're going to add some light tension up on the leash and tap on the e-collar. I'll drop the e-collar to 30 right here. And I'll pull up on the leash, tap on the e-collar. I'm not lifting her up or anything, just adding some tension to help show her. If she's having some extra difficulties, I could put my hand on her rear and gently push down just to work her in the position better. Ideally, once she starts understanding what the auto sit is and how to do it and all that, we shouldn't have to rely on the leash anymore, and we'll just reinforce with the e-collar. But starting out, we'll go ahead and use the leash. So I'll go ahead and add some upwards tension, tap, 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 tap. Good, we'll leave it be there. Good. So as you can see, a little bit of resistance there, not wanting to sit down. There's some jumping around a little bit because she was trying to avoid the pressure. But then once she learned, all I have to do is sit down, go with the pressure, then it's e-collar off, we're good to go. Shh. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do another short walk, still reinforcing the walking, and then just periodically slow to a stop for her to go into an auto sit, and then we'll make it happen. It's important to take a few steps to slow down to a stop. It's important to take a few steps to slow down to a stop when doing this, just so that way Luna has enough time to react to what we're doing, and it's also going to see how well she's paying attention. So if we go to slow down to do an auto sit and she passes me, I'm just doing a 180-degree turn and tap. So we'll go ahead and get started with that now. I'm gonna get her back in the sitting position, tension, tap, relax, good. And from here, we can just start walking. Good. And then we'll slow to a stop. Tap. Good. So very little leash tension there, and she understood it. We'll start walking again. Here I'm going to turn tap. Slow to a stop. Turn tap. We'll slow to a stop. Add some tension. Tap. Good, and relax. Good job. And if she's not necessarily perfectly on my side, that's fine. Again, this is the first time she's learning this, so we're not going to be too picky. Start walking again. Turn. Turn tap. Turn tap. Slow to a stop. Some upwards tension, tap. Relax. Good. Good job. And this is okay again. Start walking. Slow to a stop. Tap. Good. She did it with just the tap there. Even though she's a little bit in front of us, that's okay for now. Start walking. Good. The walking is much better here. Slow to a stop. Tap. Good. Good job. So again, that was just with the e-collar. Good. Here I'm going to turn. Good. And we'll slow to a stop here. Good, and she did it, no e-collar there. Good job, Luna. So here, I'm just gonna tap to get her back in the sit. Good. Good, that's fine for now. Good job. So that's pretty much all we're covering in this video. She did really well with the auto sits here, picked up on it very quickly. The walking was looking a lot better by the end of the session here too. And we'll just go ahead and keep practicing all these things with her as we move on to the rest of her training. But good job, Luna. Break. Hi, this is Elias with Canine Perspective. Today we are here with Luna. In this video we're going to be going over heel part 2. So everything from heel part 1 is going to carry over. We'll still be correcting for the walking and the auto sits, everything like that, except now just adding on kind of the last of the basics of the command. And then we'll go over how to practice at the end. So the first thing that we'll add in here is the proper start of the command and actually saying the word heel. So once we get started in a second here, we'll go ahead and do a walk back and forth, periodically slow to a stop so that Luna can go into an auto sit, and then what we'll do is do the proper starting where we're going to say heel and step with the left foot. So every time that we're going to walk, or I should say every time that we're going to start walking, we're going to step with the left foot first, just as an added visual cue for Luna to understand that we're walking. It's a good thing for her to see, to notice. It's the closest leg to her. And then it's also going to help differentiate it from the stay command where we step out with the right foot. So just to help eliminate any confusion for her. Every time that I'm going to start walking here, I'm going to say the word heel as well, just for her to start associating it with the command of walking. But ideally, by the time she's understanding everything, you should only have to say the word heel once at the beginning of the walk, and then she's just in heel whether you start or stop walking until you release her with the break command. But again, this is just for the extra repetitions. So we'll go ahead and get started here. I'm at 40, and I want to start with her at my side, not wandering around or somewhere else, just because once we start heel, it's for Luna to start following all the rules of heel, not to come over and sit at my side. So we're at 40 and heel, step with the left foot, tap, tap, good. And then slow to a stop. Good job. So here, since she should be in an auto sit, we're gonna tap, tap. We'll go ahead and drop it to 30. Good. Heel. And then here we're gonna turn, tap, slow to a stop, tap, try 20, tap, 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 good, allow that for now. So right here, we'll try 15, let's see, heel, slow to a stop, and 15, tap, 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 tension, tap, tap, good. So we dropped all the way to 10 there. So right now, we'll see if these lower numbers are working for her. She's normally not around these numbers, but we'll see. So we're at 10, tap, tap, tap. Went up to 15 there finally after the 3 taps, and good. So sometimes the extra yelping can be a little bit of overreacting, especially if she's not changing a behavior. So right there when we were at 10, she was yelping initially, then she laid back down. We were still at 10, we started tapping, and she wasn't getting through to it. Then we went up to 15, did a little squeak, and then she got up. Sometimes, like I said, it could be a little bit of overreacting in these moments, but we'll see if she is kind of committing to one decision and not trying to do anything else, but she's yelping, then it could be overreacting or frustration, where we're not letting her do what she wants to do, so that she's getting vocal about it. So we'll see as we move forward. But right now, we'll keep it at 13 and heel. So here I'm going to tap, I'm going to turn tap, good, Here I'm going to turn tap. And we'll slow to a stop. Pull to the left tap. Tap. Good. There we go. And heel. Tap. There we go. Here I'm going to turn slow to a stop. Turn tap. Trying to be a little bit more strict with the auto sit now. And tap. There we go. Heel. Good. She does a lot of spins, so the leash is getting a little tangled. And we'll slow to a stop. Tap. Tap, 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 tap. So we'll go to 15 because that's just too many taps for her to get her to sit up. And now that we've introduced that with the auto sits and the proper starting footwork and heel, we'll go ahead and move on to the right turns. So the right turns are pretty simple. Before doing either the right turn or the left turn, we want to make sure to take a few steps to slow down, just so that way we give Luna a chance to react to what we're doing, and it's also going to see how well she's paying attention, because if she passes us when we're going to slow down, then it's just a standard turn and tap. So we'll go ahead and go for the right turn. Heel, still going to do all this, tap, and it's left foot out, right foot, and then left. So we're walking, take a few steps to slow down, and it's left, back on the right, and then left. Pull to left tap. There we go. We'll keep walking, and it's left, back on the right, tap, 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 tap. There we go. So there she wasn't paying attention, so she got caught up a little bit. Here I'm just going to turn and tap because she's ahead of me. And we'll slow down, and it's left, back on the right, and then left. Good, much better. Left, back on the right, left. Good. Good. So that's the right turns, pretty straightforward, pretty easy. And tap, tap. Good, 2 taps there. So now that one was a little bit better than before. When we were at 13, it took a lot more. Tap, tap, tap. There. So now we'll go ahead and do the left turn. For the left turn, what we'll do is these need to be a little bit more rigid, so think of it as kind of like a square shape. And when we go ahead and do them, it's really important to keep the footwork consistent, just so that way Luna starts to understand how much space to give us. If we are trying to step around her every time and change our footwork to accommodate her, tap, tap, good. Change our footwork to accommodate her, then we're more likely to trip over her, step on her, anything like that, because she's not learning the proper amount of space that she needs to give us. So if we keep our footwork the same, and let's say she crosses in front of us and we just do our best to walk through her, then she's going to start to learn, if I don't want to run into mom or dad's legs, I'm going to give them a little bit more space. So we'll go for it here, and heel, slow down, and it's right, left. Here I'm going to turn and tap. She started going towards the ramp there. So we're walking. Here I'm going to turn tap. And we'll slow down. And it's right, left, right. Good. And there, do my best to walk through her. Here she's in front of me, tap. We're going to go ahead and jump up to 20, turn, tap. So as you can see, turn, tap. As she's getting more and more distracted, her number's kind of going up here. We'll slow down, and right, left, right, good. Keep walking, slow down, and right, left, right, good. I'm keeping my footwork consistent so that way she starts to learn. We'll slow down, and right, left, right, good. Slow down again, and right, left, right. Good. Tap. Good. And we're at 25 now. So now she's kind of steadily working up to kind of the number that I would normally expect her to be. Just before, she's maybe overreacting to it a little bit, having a little bit of a harder time understanding. But now that things are clear to her, it's just trying to override whatever distraction that she's trying to deal with. Right now it's the playpen. We go by the ramp. She wants to go up the ramp. Things like that are going to increase the number to where we need to make it more important to her than whatever she's wanting to do in that moment. So that's kind of the basics of heel with the left turn, the right turn, and then the starting with the left foot, saying heel, everything like that. When working on this at home, I would collar Luna up and get her ready to go for her walk outside. Take her out, give her a potty break, and then before your walk, warm up with 5 right turns, 5 left turns, 5 slow to a stop, stepping with the left foot, saying the word heel. This is just going to make everything go more smoothly for you and Luna on your walk and give her a nice refresher before you guys get going. When you're on your walk, we have something called a 3-tap rule. If you have to tap for any behavior 3 times, after that 3rd time, you're going to increase the number by about 5 or 10, and then that's your new number. So let's say we're walking, she passes me 3 times, I turn and tap 3 times, and we were at 20, now we're at 25, that's my new number. She does it again, I'm at 30. So on and so forth. This is just so that way you don't get stuck at one number for too long, and we're trying to pick the best number that's going to address the behaviors as easily as possible, because ideally we don't want to have to keep tapping on the e-collar over and over and over again. Another tip is after about a week or 2 of walking with Luna, let's say you realize that maybe you're starting at 15 but always ending up at 45 by the end of every walk. What that's telling you is that on your next walk, start at 45, just because that may be kind of the number that is important enough for her to want to follow through with the command for the rest of the walk. So instead of wasting time going through all the numbers, maybe you correct Luna at the beginning of the walk with 45, and then the rest of your walk is smooth. Again, just to best address everything in the most consistent way possible. But other than that, when you're done walking with her, or you're going to give her a potty break, and basically you just want to be done with heel, you'll use the release command. The word we use is break. The way that you'll do that is, let's say you're going to have Luna go and take a bathroom break in a patch of grass. You'll approach the patch of grass, you'll say the word break, pull Luna onto the patch of grass, keep your feet planted, and then just let her run around, do her thing, maybe build some excitement, especially at the beginning when she's still learning it. The reason why we want to slow to a stop, then say the word and all that, is because we don't want to say break while Luna is still on heel. We want to say break when Luna goes into the auto sit. Just because we don't want to create that habit where Luna is walking off of heel when we're walking, just in case we're not going to stop at that patch of grass. She confuses another patch of grass for it. Tons of scenarios where she now has the option where she's walked off of your side. If we just don't allow that at all, it's not really going to become a bad habit. And at the very least, if she makes a mistake, tap, tap, good. At the very least, if she makes a mistake, she's at least going to wait till an auto sit until she makes that mistake. Then, keeping the feet planted is also very important, just because if we say the word break at the beginning and just walk onto the grass with her, she may still think that we are in heel, so keeping our feet planted there is going to help illustrate to her that we are no longer in heel. And then Once she's on the patch of grass, like I said, you can build some excitement. It may take 3 or 4 times before she's really starting to understand it, but then whenever you're ready to go back in your walk, you'll say heel again, you're good to go. Other than that, that's pretty much everything with heel. We'll go ahead and move on with the rest of her training now. Good job, Luna. Break. Hi, this is Elias with Canine Perspective. Today we're here again with Luna. In this video, we're going to be going over the stay command. The stay command is pretty self-explanatory. Just wherever we tell Luna to stay, she should stay in that position, stay in that same spot as well. So for example, if I gave her the stay command right here, she should remain sitting, not laying down, not standing, and she should also not go anywhere else on the floor. So the way that we convey this command to Luna is I'm going to say the word stay, wave my hand in front of her face like that, and pivot out with the right foot to face her. The reason why we incorporate those 2 additional things to just saying the word stay is, one, with the waving our hand in front of her face, it's a good visual cue for Luna to pick up on, because it's hard for her to miss since it's our hand right in front of her face. And then pivoting out with the right foot, also very important, just because, as you may remember with heel, we step with the left foot to let her know that we're going to start walking. So here, pivoting out with the right foot is just helping to differentiate things so she doesn't get confused. For this command, we're going to do it with her in the sitting position. So in a second, I'll pull her up into the sitting position and then issue the command, pivot out to face her. I'll have my leash ready to correct just like this. And then if she ends up making a mistake, I'll add some upwards tension to get her back in the sitting position while tapping on the e-collar. If she tries to go anywhere else on the floor as well, I'm going to try and guide her back to the same spot, all while tapping on the e-collar. Then once she's back, same spot and sitting, it's pressure off with the e-collar, and then we'll relax the leash as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. Good. Let's see if she just will take a piece of food at the beginning. No, not interested right now. Again, when dogs are learning something new, this is nothing out of the ordinary. As they become stressed, sometimes certain dogs will choose not to eat. So here I'll go ahead and stay, pivot out with the right foot, tap, good. See if she takes a piece of food. Still not interested. And then we'll go back to her side and break. Good. Here, just gonna keep her up and then keep her up here. Stay, pivot out, tap. Good. We're at 15 still. Good job. Tap. Good. Break. So same thing. Get her sitting. Stay. Pivot out with the right foot. Good. That was a good one. Okay, a little readjust is fine for now. Break. Go ahead and go for one more. Good. And stay. Pivot out with the right foot. Good. Break. So now we'll go ahead and add a little bit more challenge, see how well she's understanding it by adding some more movement to the command. Once we tell her to stay and we pivot out and face her, I'm going to go ahead and do a half circle around her and then return back to my original position. Still correcting the same way for all of this as well. Stay. Good. Tap. 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 Good. Good job. And break. Good. So there, you may have noticed every time I went to tap, I completely stopped walking until she was back in the sitting position. That's just so that we don't confuse her by walking and tapping, and then she may think we're in heel. So remember to completely stop your motion when you're going to correct with the e-collar for this, and then when she's good to go, you continue your circle. Good. Stay. Good. Good job. Break. Good. Stay. Tap. Good. Good. Tap. 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 So here, tap, 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 tap. I'm just trying to pull her off of me. Tap, tap. Because I don't want her thinking that the tapping is to just come to my side, get as close to me as possible. Tap. Tap. Good. Break. We'll do another one. Get her sitting again. We're at 20. So here she keeps trying to stay glued to me. I don't want her to. Good. Stay. Good. Now she got it. Good job. So now we'll just take it one more step further, essentially doing the same thing, just now full circle around her back to our original position. Break. And stay. Pivot out. Do our circle. Good. Break. Here. Stay. Pivot out. Good. Good job. Break. Get her sitting again. This will be the last one. Stay. Pivot out. Good. And break. Good. So as you can see, she picked up on this one pretty easily. This is usually a faster one for dogs. And she did really well too after correcting her. We did have to go up to 25 overall. So as you can see, we're trying to kind of work at whatever's gonna be best for her. She is kind of a little bit more nervous overall, so as you can see, sometimes she would just try and get closer to me. We're letting her know that getting closer to me is not the answer, just following through with the command, staying there, doing what you gotta do. It's okay that she didn't take food. We'll still keep offering it to her throughout her training as well. When working on this command at home, you can do what I did here with Luna. You can add more challenge to it by using different treats, toys, doing it in different environments, stuff like that can all help proof the command, so that way you know that she's going to be able to follow through with it in all circumstances. And then sometimes owners like to use this at different thresholds, like the front door, back door, fence to a yard, and then sometimes the car door as well. So like I said, wherever it's going to be most useful to you, but this is a pretty quick and easy command. However you want to incorporate it is up to you. We'll go ahead and keep moving on with the rest of Luna's training now, but she's doing really well. Good job. Hi, this is Elias with Canine Perspective. Today we're here again with Luna. In this video we're going to be going over the place command. For the place command, our setup is same thing with the e-collar, slip lead. We do have some of her treats here just to help her kind of ease some of the stress of like learning new things, and to give her an added reward. When she's following through with the commands. That being said, sometimes when dogs are learning new things, they're a little too stressed and they don't want to eat. That's perfectly fine too. We'll offer it to her, see if she's willing to take it. The rest of our setup for the place command is we're using one of these raised dog beds here. We like using these because they're very sturdy. They have a very easily defined border as well, so the dog knows what is and what is not place. And then it is raised up off the ground, so it's got good airflow and can be comfortable for the dog for longer amounts of time. So for the place command, ideally, once we say the word place, Luna should go onto the place bed here, and she can do whatever she likes while on place, as far as chewing a bone, laying down, sitting, standing up, playing with a toy, anything like that, as long as she stays on the bed until we release her with the break command. Starting out, we're not going to use a word or anything like that. We're just going to get her comfortable with the concept of just going onto the bed. We're also not worrying about duration as well, so we're not forcing her to stay on for a certain amount of time. It's just go on the bed right now. The way that we're going to do this is a little bit different than some of the other commands, because we're able to kind of skip a step here, because as the dog starts to understand that the e-collar is trying to get them to do different things, usually what happens is when we put the dog bed down, we tap on the e-collar, they can kind of figure it out from there without needing the leash tension. That being said, what we'll do is try and rely on the e-collar. If it's not making sense to her at first, then we'll go ahead, add in some leash tension to help her. So to do this command, we're gonna stand pretty close to the bed here. I'm gonna keep my feet planted just because once she starts moving on to long leash and everything like that, we like it to where we say the word place, and from no matter which location we're at, Luna should be able to run down, go onto the place bed by herself rather than us walking her to the bed. So we're keeping our feet planted here, not taking a step forward or anything, just to start building up that habit of her not seeing us walk to the bed. And then what we'll do is we'll tap on the e-collar, see if we can get her to figure it out. If not, we'll add in leash tension. Once she goes on the bed, we'll try and reward her. If she ends up staying on the bed, then we'll go ahead and release her with the break command, take a few steps back and pull her off the bed just to kind of draw her towards us off of the dog bed. So we can go ahead and get started now. Just untangle this a little bit. Good. And we'll start at 30. We'll tap, tap, tension, tap. Go to 25, tap, tap, tension, good. Good job. Good, and she took the treat. Break. We'll go from this side now. The reason why we're going to do a repetition from each side is because dogs are very image-based learners, so if we just do it from one side, she can get really good at this side, but maybe we go to the other side, now she's having a lot of difficulties again. So this is going to help her pick up on all sides of it very quickly. So from here, we're at 25, we'll do it again. Tap, tap, tension, tap, good. And we'll reward. Luna, you're a good girl. And then from here, since she's staying on the bed, break. Good. Right here. And tap. 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 Good. A little bit of tension there. Break. And then here, we'll go ahead, come up to the bed here, let her settle, tap. Good. She went there with just a tap. Go ahead and reward her. Good job. Break. From this side now, let her settle. It's good that she's getting the concept of going onto the bed, but we want to make sure that we're the ones that can make it happen. Tap. Good, 1 tap and she did it after a little spin. Good. Break. We're just gonna make sure this is consistent before we move on. This side now, tap, tap, 2 taps there, good. Break. Good, from this side here, tap, tap, good, no tension, tap, good. So she spins around a lot, that's why this keeps getting tangled. Good. One. Oh, I dropped it. And break. From this side here, tap. Good, 1 tap. Good job. Break. We'll do 1 more here. Let her settle, tap. Good. Good job. Good, break. So what we'll do now, we'll go ahead and start adding the word in and start testing the duration as well, since she seems to be pretty consistent with the e-collar now. So what we're gonna do is essentially the same process, except now we're just saying the word place, then reinforcing with the e-collar, and then leash tension if needed. Once she's on the bed, she's now not allowed to step off until we release her with the break command. And the way that we're gonna challenge that further is once she's on the bed, I'm gonna go ahead and make a circle around the bed until I return back to my original spot, just to see if that extra movement will throw her off a little bit. If she looks like she's gonna make a mistake while I'm making this circle, I'm gonna go ahead and let her make that mistake, and then we'll correct as needed. So say I'm making the circle, she steps off the bed, I'm gonna completely stop my motion, tap on the e-collar till she goes back on the bed, using the leash tension as needed if she is confused. Then once she's back on the bed, I'll continue my circle and finish that off. The reason why I'm stopping my motion when I'm gonna correct her is because I don't want her to think that the tapping of the e-collar is to follow me or for heel or something else. So it's just to minimize any confusion. So we'll go ahead and get started with this now. And place, tap, good. So here, tap. I'll give her a reward for going on there. We'll make our circle. Good. I'll give another one for the duration of it. Good job. So, we'll go ahead and do another one. Break. Perfect. From this side now, let her settle. Place, tap, good. Luna. That's fine, not too interested. So here, tap, good. Tap, tap, good. Tap, 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 good. There we go. And then from here, break. This side now, place, tap, 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 good. We'll go up to 27. Good. Do our circle. Tap, 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 tap. We'll go to 30. Tap. Good. Good job, Luna. There we go. From here, break. This side now. Place, tap, tap, tap. Good. Do our circle, tap, good. Tap, tap, good. Tap, tap. We'll go to 35 and break. From this side now, let her settle. Place, tap, 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 tap. We'll go to 40, tap. Good. So she's just getting too distracted. And then as you can see when I'm tapping, she's not taking her focus off of whatever she's distracted by. So we want to make this number more concerning to her than whatever she's getting distracted by. So we'll go ahead and do our circle. Tap, tap, tap. Good. And break. From this side now, we'll keep doing this till we get it a little bit cleaner. Place, tap, tap, good. Tap, 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 good. Tap, 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 good. Tap, good. So again, all this extra yelping, just frustration, because we've corrected her multiple times now for stepping off of the bed, and she keeps doing it over and over again. So that's why we're seeing the frustration, because she wants to get off the bed, but we're not letting her. Break. So we'll go for it again here. And place, tap, 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 45, tap, tap, good. So again, she's just choosing not to go on the bed, not trying anything else. So that's why we're increasing the number to make it more important for her. And now that we've increased the number, she's following through with it much nicer as well. Good job. She's just getting too distracted by some of the other handlers, some of the other dogs, but we're trying to override those distractions, make this more important. Break. From this side now, as you can see, still staring over there. And place, tap, tap, tap. And as you can see, she keeps going back to what she's doing. Tap, went to 50 there, good. So when I'm tapping, she's still staring at whatever she was staring at. Even though she's yelping, that's telling me that the number's still not concerning to her. Maybe frustrating to her, she may be getting stressed, but it's not concerning to her because she'd rather go ahead and stare at whatever she's staring at than follow through. So in the first part with the working number, that's where I was explaining where she's still, you know, not making a change in behavior or doing anything about it. So that's how I know that the number's not too high. She's just getting frustrated because we're not letting her do what she would like to do. And break, but the duration is better now. From this side, place, tap, still staring, tap, tap. So you see how after that tap, she's still staring. We'll go to 55, break. Tap, 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 good. And then a little bit of redirection on the leash there because she's getting frustrated. She doesn't want to go forward onto the bed, so she's redirecting all that energy towards the leash. Break. Now I'm kind of cutting out the duration because I'm just trying to get her better at the going onto the bed. So place, tap, much better at 55. Now we're getting it with one tap. Break. Let her settle. Place, tap, good. And you see how much easier it is now that we've picked a number that's more concerning to her. Break. Here. And let her settle. Place. Good, no taps there. I let her think about it. I saw that she was considering it. Good job. So now she understood it with the word. We just had to increase the number to 55 now. Good. And then let's see how well she stays on it. Good job. Break. Try one more from the side here. Place. Tap. Tap. Good. Good job. Break. And we'll put her on the bed to end it. Let her settle. Place. Perfect. Tap. Good. Good. So it'll just take some time to get it cleaner, more consistent with the word, especially because we're basically just labeling the behavior. But as you can see, we worked her through some of the distractions that were happening here at daycare. She was staring a lot, and then we had to keep increasing the number to override whatever she was distracted by to finally get her to follow through the command with some consistency, because we don't want to have to tap 4, 5, 6 times every single time to try and get her on the bed. We want to make it concerning enough to where we're giving more power to the word of place, where we say place, she goes to the bed, that's it. This is also going to help her kind of have some better focus and self-control rather than her just staring at the dogs, not following through with stuff. We're letting her know, hey, you have to pay attention, you have to follow through now, we told you a command. So a lot of good progress from her today here with this command. And again, we'll keep working on this with her to get it better and better. She learned a lot just in this one session, so that's really good to see that she's making good progress. And then 55 is just what ended up working for her at the end. Again, that extra kind of whininess is just frustration, because if she were trying different things and trying to figure it out, that would be confusion. Then we would lower the number and help her out a bit. But it was more just, I don't want to go through with it. So then we're hearing the frustration because now we're adding that discipline. We're telling her what to do. When working on this at home, what you'll want to do is kind of go through the steps that we did here, because right now Luna knows place as this place bed here at the facility, here on the training floor. She's not going to go home and necessarily know place as her dog bed there. So you'll kind of have to go through the steps. Granted, it should be faster because she has a concept of place now, but you'll want to introduce her kind of from step 1 with this command for whatever new object you're going to get her to do place on. So when you're going to be working on this at home as well, I would start out having the short leash on her, so that way you have some kind of physical way to make the command happen if she's not following through with the e-collar. And then I would also have her be very close to you. So if you work from home, maybe right by your desk. If you're going to watch a movie, put her right next to you there, maybe in her dog bed or wherever you want to do it. And the reason being is that if she's far away from you and messes up with the command, then she's doing all this walking around, all this extra confusion, adding into what could be a simple, quick correction just to keep everything consistent. So keep that in mind, that don't start moving her away from you until you're getting some consistency. She's understanding the command well, just so that way you can make that very fast correction when she messes up and she's not going to get very far. Other than that, for the duration, you can go ahead and do however long you need to. If you want to watch a movie while working on this, you can go for the length of hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever you need, 3 hours, 4 hours. You don't have to build up duration or anything like that, just however long you need and then correct as needed. One thing to keep in mind with the duration is that after about an hour, hour and a half, you're going to want to rotate the collar from left to right or right to left, just so that way the contact points don't give Luna any pressure sores if she has sensitive skin. Again, this is not from the stimulation, this is just from the contact points being in the same spot for a long time. Other than that, behaviors that you want to correct on the bed, you're more than welcome to. So for example, let's say she was chewing on the corner of the bed here. I could tap on the e-collar to correct that. I would just expect her to most likely step off the bed, especially at the beginning while she's learning the command, because she may get confused. And then that's why we have the short leash. I would just tap on the e-collar till she goes back on the bed, add in the short leash tension if needed, if she's confused. As you start to correct for those kinds of things, it'll become more clear to her over time what are the rules of place, and that tap was not for her to get off place or anything like that. For place, you can use anything you want really, as far as like a towel, blanket, yoga mat, spot on the couch, dog bed, anything like that. Just keep in mind with stuff that's more easily moved around, like a blanket or a towel, that sometimes the borders of it can get messed up, and that can mess up the dog following through with the command a little bit. Not to say you can't use something like that, but just keep in mind if she tries to scrunch it up, it's going to throw things off a little bit. But I think that's about it. As far as how I would recommend working on the command at home, if it's possible, something that we do here, we have pillars on the main floor that we tether some clip leashes to. Then we have these dog beds next to the pillars. We go ahead, put the dog on place on those dog beds, the raised dog beds like we have here. We clip the leash to their flat collar, just so that way they're tethered to the pole. If they mess up the command, they're not going to get very far, and we don't have to be right next to them to be able to make a good, quick, consistent correction with the e-collar. If they need the extra help though, since they are tethered to something, we can help them back on. If that's something that's possible to set up at home, that might be another easy way to practice, but that's dependent on, you know, your setup and everything. But overall, she did really good here. We'll go ahead, keep practicing with her, keep getting this better and better. And then we'll go ahead and move on with the rest of her training. So good job, Luna. And break. Hi, this is Elias with Canine Perspective. Today we're here with Luna. In this video, we're going to be going over the down command, the down and the sit command. We combined these into one video just because the sit command usually goes by pretty fast, since Luna is already familiar with the behavior of sitting from doing the auto sit and heel, auto sit and recall, and just generally going into the sitting position for some of the commands. So here we're just going to be labeling it a sit. We'll do that at the end of the session, and that's when I'll go over everything with that. The first command we're going to start with is the down command. Down command can be a little bit challenging for dogs with the e-collar and pressure work, just because we're asking them to go into a more relaxed passive position, and they may be getting stressed, nervous, not wanting to lay down in that moment. But we'll do our best to work her through it and let her know that going with the pressure is going to turn the pressure off. And once she starts to understand it, then things should be getting a lot smoother. So a slightly different setup today. We're using a flat collar with a clip leash connected to the flat collar. The reason why we're doing this is because instead of the slip lead, which constricts around the neck and adds more pressure than maybe necessary for this, we can give better direction to her with the flat collar here, since it's not tightening around the neck, not overwhelming her too much, and it's going to make it more clear that we want her to go down with the downward pressure once we get started. We have her food here in case she takes it. Usually when dogs are learning new things, they're a little bit more stressed and not willing to take the food. So if she doesn't take it, that's fine. We'll offer it. So as you can see, a little uncomfortable, but we'll go ahead and see if that's going to change as we progress through the training. So for this command, since it is a stationary command, as is later on when we go over the sit command, both are stationary. With all of our stationary commands, we have an implied stay. So wherever we tell Luna to lay down, she should remain in that down position, not get up or do anything. She should also not go into any other spot or anything like that. So we can go ahead and get right into it right now. Another thing to keep in mind, we have the flat collar lower on the neck than the e-collar, trying to keep the e-collar as high up as possible. It's also going to help keep the flat collar in a good position. So from here, the way that we're going to make this command happen, we'll keep her laying down for just one moment. We'll put her in the sitting position just because it's easier for dogs to kind of fold down into that laying down position from there. We'll step on the leash here, add some tension. If we need to keep adding more tension, we'll keep pulling up on the right side here, which will create more and more tension on the leash, pulling her down. As we add that downward pressure, we'll tap on the e-collar in order to start getting that into the process and work her into the position using pressure. Once she's on the ground laying down, we're not going to worry about duration or anything like that. If she ends up staying on the ground, we can release her with the break command. If not, it's no big deal. Right now, we're just getting her in the process of laying down. We're not using any words or anything like that because we're just shaping the behavior as well. So we can go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to pull her up here. There we go. Get her in the sitting position. And then what I'm going to do, go ahead, add some tension on the leash here. We're at 13 now, and tap. Some more tension, tap, tap, and good job. We'll see if she takes any food. Not interested, and that's okay. Since she's still laying down, we'll go ahead, break, and reset. But that was good. So from here, Good job. In the sitting position, go ahead, step on the leash, adding some tension, and tap. A little more tension, tap. Tap. And a little more tension. Tap. Tap. More tension. Here I'm pushing her butt down to help her. Tap. A little pressure on her shoulders. Tap. We'll go up a little bit. 15. Tap. 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 Almost. And good. Good job. Break. So we're going to go ahead and get this consistent, then we'll transfer the reliability more over to the e-collar. But right now, we'll get a few more repetitions in of this. Good. Back in the sitting position. Tension here. Tap. Tap. Good. 2 taps there. And break. And I already know Luna is a little bit more vocal, even if she's at her working number. So this little bit of yelping here, I'm not too worried about it because we're pretty low for her. And if we go any lower, she's not really feeling it or it's not being concerning enough to her. So it seems like 15 is the middle ground right here, and we'll adjust as needed. So here, more tension, tap, tap. So as you can see, we're tapping and she's not choosing to do anything else. So it's not confusion, she's just deciding not to do it. Tap, go to 19, tap, and almost, a little more tension, good, good job. Break. So a lot of that vocalization is just her, 1, being a little bit more vocal overall, and then 2, some frustration because she's not really wanting to go with the pressure. Tension, tap, more tension, good, good job. So now it's getting faster. Break, and we've also increased the number to be more concerning to her so that she goes with it easier. Good. Some tension. I'm going to push her butt down. Good. Tension, tap. 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 So as you can see, every tap there caused her to not do anything else other than sit there and go against the pressure. So that's her being resistant. Break. So even though she is doing a little bit of yelping, it's not because the number's too high. It's because she's not wanting to go with the pressure, but we're telling her that she has to. Back in the sitting position. Same thing here. Tension. Tap. Good, 1 tap there. Nice. Good job. Break. Sitting position. Good. Tension, tap. And again, 1 tap. Now she's understanding it. Good. And as you can hear, the vocalization is not as intense either. Break. But we've been at the same number. Good. Good job. Bit of tension. Tap. Tap. Good. Good job. Break. We'll try 1 more. Get her sitting. And tension, tap. Good. So that one was really smooth. Good job. Break. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try and transfer some of the reliability over to the e-collar rather than relying on the leash each time. So for this, it's going to be a very similar process. All we're doing is we're going to try and tap on the e-collar, make it happen before we add the leash tension, then add the leash tension in if she's still having difficulties, just as we were doing in these last few repetitions. So what I'm going to do is get her in the sitting position. We'll tap on the e-collar, see if we can convey what we want her to do with that. And then if not, stepping on the leash, adding that tension, basically doing what we were just doing. Still not using any words, still not worrying about the duration either. Good. And then from here, tap, Good. Good job. And break. So she did really good with that one. Same thing here. And tap. Good. And we've been at the same number the whole time, 19. As you could hear, the vocalization is also being less and less. And break. Good. And tap. Tap. Good. There we go. And break. One or two more here because she's doing really well. And tap. 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 Here I'm going to pull her up. Tap. Tap. So there, she keeps backing up. We'll add in some tension. Tap. Good. Break. There, she kept doing the same thing, just backing up. Not what we wanted. We wanted her to lay down. So then we added in that leash tension to make it clear to her in case she was confused. And from here, tap. 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 So here, I'm going to go ahead and step on the leash, tap. Good. And you can hear that frustration build. Break. We'll go ahead, go for it again here. Get her sitting. Very distracted by the playpen here as well. Could be part of the reason why she's having trouble focusing. Good. And tap. 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 Good. So there, since I saw these last few repetitions, she kept doing the same thing over and over again, backing into me as I tapped. Then when I added leash tension, she laid down. I needed to make it more clear to her that the tapping is to lay down. Don't wait for the leash tension. Because what she was doing there is she was fine with handling the e-collar, and then the leash tension meant, okay, now I have to lay down. She kept doing the same thing, not trying anything else. That's her just deciding, when I feel the e-collar, I'm just gonna keep getting closer. Then once the leash tension kicks in, that's when I'll lay down. So there I was kind of increasing the pressure by adding a few more taps, letting her know that she needs to lay down with the e-collar, not when the leash tension happens. As you could see, she was able to figure it out and do it. The reason why I was able to know that she was going to do that is because she kept doing the same thing each time, and then as soon as I added leash tension, she would lay down. So it's just her deciding that the number's only worth it enough until the leash tension comes in. Break. So we'll go ahead and try it again. Same thing here. Here, I'm just gonna turn her a little bit. Get her sitting. There we go. And tap. So, see what she does. Good. And break. Do another one here. And tap. Good. Now one tap and she did it. Good. Break. So now that we kind of broke her out of that habit there, she's understanding the tap just means that I have to lay down. So here, what we're going to do, as you can see, still very focused on the playpen. Here, what we're going to do is, Essentially the same process. Now I'm going to start adding the word down because she's starting to understand it with the e-collar. So what we're going to do is we're going to say the word down, reinforce with the e-collar, and then leave tension if needed, if she's still having some difficulties. We'll also be worrying about the duration now. So when she lays down, she should remain laying down until we release her with the break command. She's been doing a good job so far. In order to challenge it further, once she's down, I'm going to go ahead and walk a circle around her, just to test to see how well she's going to do with the extra movement and see how well she's actually going to stay in the down command. If she makes a mistake while I'm circling her, I'm going to completely stop my motion, correct as needed by tapping on the e-collar, guiding her back to the same spot, and getting her back in the down position, all while I'm still tapping on the e-collar, then pressure off when she's laying down back in the same spot. Then we can continue on with our circle, just because we don't want her to get confused when we're walking and tapping. We don't want her to think that we are asking her to be in heel or something like that. So then from here, down, tap, good. Still not taking food, and then we'll do our circle. Very good. Break. Get her sitting. Down. Tap. 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 We'll go ahead and go to 22. Just because as she gets distracted, you can see that the number's not as important to her. Break. Also, when she's doing that backing up like that, I'm going to try and keep her around my left side just to make it not so confusing if she has all this extra space to kind of run around. That's good. Down. Tap. Tap. Good. Break. So we'll go ahead, get her sitting again. Good. Good. Down. Tap, tap, tap. Good. Do our circle. Tap, 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 tap. Good. So there, all frustration, because as you could see, it didn't help her out, but she knew what to do. She keeps backing up, and that's the decision she's making. So I'm trying to let her know that continuing to back up, and that's kind of the choice that you're making, is not going to turn the pressure off. Break. Good. And down. Good, no taps there. Good job. Break. Do one or two more. Good. Down. Good, no taps there as well. Good job. Do our circle. Good. So as you can see, now she's starting to understand it. That's what we're looking for. As we drill it out, as we practice it with her, it's going to get smoother and smoother. She's going to have a better association with the word. And then we also kind of see some of the frustration go away because it's very clear to her what to do. She knows that the best way to avoid the pressure is to just go with it. That's where we'll end the down command for here. When working on this command at home, you can do what we did here, especially if she's having difficulties. Don't be afraid to take a step back. You can further proof it by using different toys, using different treats, different distractions that she may like, doing it in different environments. Just keep in mind that as she's getting distracted, as we saw here, as she's getting hyper-focused on certain things, not paying attention as well, we are having to increase the number to make it more important to her in order for her to follow through with the command smoothly. So keep that in mind. Other than that, wherever you see fit to use it, it's probably best for you. Sometimes owners like to use it as before different thresholds, such as the front door, back door, gate to a fence, car door, anything like that, just to give a little bit more structure, make the dog kind of have that moment of needing permission with the break command before they're allowed to go do what they're gonna do. Another popular way that people like to work on this command is, let's say you're at the park with Luna, you wanna take a relaxing sit down on the bench, and you want Luna to work on her down command. You'll have the short leash on her, either have it in your hand or step on it, put her in a down command next to you, let her practice on some self-control and relaxing while you have that short leash, just in case she does make a mistake. She's not gonna get very far and you can correct pretty easily without kind of a lot of effort put into it. So that's pretty much it for the down command. We'll go ahead and move on to the sit command now. All I'm going to do for this is release her from her position right now, get her walking around a little bit, give her the command sit, and then kind of reinforce it with the e-collar leash tension if needed by pulling up on the leash. And all we're doing here is labeling the behavior of sit, because she already knows what sit is. Now she just needs to learn it as when I say sit, then you can go ahead and do it. Again, another stationary command, so wherever she sits down, she shouldn't lay down, stand up, walk around, anything like that. We'll correct the same way as we would with the down command or the stay command as well. So we'll stay at 1920 where we've been at, and here I'm gonna go ahead and release her. Break. Luna, 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 Luna. Where's your good girl? Where's your good girl? Luna, Luna. Sit. And tap. Good. We'll do a circle around her to test that she knows that she has to stay there. Perfect. Good job, Luna. Break. So we'll do another one. Luna, 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 Luna. Where's your good girl? Where's your good girl? Where's your good girl? Yeah. Sit. Tap. Good. Good job. Tap. Good. And again, when we're tapping, we're stopping all our motion around her, just so she doesn't get confused. Good. Break. Luna, Luna. Luna, Luna, Luna. Luna, Luna, Luna. Luna. Sit. Good. No taps there. Good job. You're a good girl. We'll go ahead. Here, I'm going to tap. Good. And break. Luna, Luna. Luna, Luna. Luna. Yeah. Yeah. Sit. Good. And then you can see how fast she's picking up on it as well. So here, I'm going to go ahead. We'll tap. Tap. Good. And she understood it. No tension needed. Go ahead and do another circle just to be sure. Good job. And break. Luna, 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 Luna. Who's a good girl? Yeah. Sit. Tap. Good. Do our circle. Tap. Good. Good job, Luna. Break. And we'll do one more. Luna, Luna, Luna. Who's a good girl? Who's a Luna? Sit. Tap. Good. Good. Break. So as you can see for this one, it's just going to take a little bit more repetition, hearing the word and doing the command for her, but she already has a good grasp on it, and we didn't really teach her that behavior in this video just because she's had a lot of practice doing that in other parts of the training. So again, here we're just labeling it. So we just need her to associate the word sit with the behavior that she already knows. Sometimes it's faster for certain dogs than others to make that association. She was doing pretty well right here. Again, after some more practice, it'll probably be automatic. This isn't a super hard command to work on. Same thing for the down command. You can work on it by adding more distractions, treats, doing it in different environments, things like that. Using it in the same way as well for different thresholds. Maybe if you just want her to sit down before doing something, anything like that, wherever you see fit and however you're going to be able to most easily incorporate it into your day-to-day life. But we'll go ahead, keep working on this stuff with her, and move on with the rest of her training. Good job, Luna. Break. Hi, this is Elias with Canine Perspective. Today we're here again with Luna. In this video we're going to be going over the recall command. Before we get into the command itself, I'm going to go over our current setup. Right now we have a flat collar on Luna right below the e-collar, having the e-collar as high up on the neck as possible, again just so we get that consistent stimulation and it's more comfortable for her. To the flat collar, we have this long leash attached that we're going to be using for recall. And we also have a short leash. It's going to be a slip lead that we're using. It's above the e-collar because it is a slip lead. The reason why we have these two leashes when we're going to be doing this is because in a second, I'm going to have Amanda go against the back wall here. And that short leash is going to help create separation. Because as we do it, Luna may understand what we're asking of her, and she may try to preemptively come to me or stay at my side in order to avoid the pressure of the e-collar. But we need that short leash to help create good consistent repetitions and add that separation. For the long leash, the way that we're going to be holding it is you're going to take the loop at the end, put it over your thumb like that, close over it so you have your thumb block. Then in the other hand, as you're reeling it in, you're going to let it rest over your hand like that. We're reeling it in and then let it roll over your first finger like that, making a second loop which you'll close over. So again, I'm reeling it in and I need to close like that. For the recall command, the way that we're going to start out doing it, not going to use any words, anything like that, just going to start shaping the behavior, and we'll start with leash tension and layering the e-collar over it. So what that's going to look like is when Amanda and Luna are against the back wall over here, I'm going to go ahead, add some tension to the leash just to help Luna understand what to do. And then I'm going to tap on the e-collar till she starts coming to me. As she comes to me, I'm going to take 3 steps back just as a visual cue for her to see and have like a target to go to. It's going to help draw her in. And then as she's running to me as well, I'm going to be reeling in the long leash, taking up any extra slack that I can in order to minimize any confusion, because if Luna has all that extra slack, she may try and run around a little bit more, making the command confusing and a little bit longer overall. And then we also have that short leash in order to be able to add tension to help her understand what to do, which is to come to us. Once she gets to me, she should go into an auto sit about 1 to 2 feet within my vicinity. It doesn't matter necessarily where. It doesn't have to be on my left side or anything like that. She just has to go into the auto sit, stay there until I release her with the break command. If Luna passes me or starts going off in another direction or is not sitting close enough to me, I'm going to do the same process that we did at the beginning of recall, and I'm going to take my 3 steps back, tap on the e-collar, reel in the leash till she closes the gap or till she comes back to me if she passes me, and then goes into her auto sit next to me. That's all we're going to be worrying about right now. One more thing to mention is that if she does get a little bit tangled in the leash, we're going to do our best to work her through it. This is just so that way we know that she's going to be able to work through these obstacles when we're in certain scenarios in real life. So if she does get a little tangled, we'll go ahead and keep pushing through. Obviously, if it's to the point where she can get injured or where she's not able to follow through with the command, then we'll help her out, but we'll see what she's able to get done. So if you want to go ahead and go against the back wall now. And then here, we're just going to start at 15 for her. So I'm going to add some tension on the leash, and then when I say tap, I'm tapping on the e-collar, and Amanda will let go of the short leash. So we're at 15, tension, and tap, 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 good, tap, 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 tap. So here, still reeling it in. See what she does. Still too far. Tap. Tap. Good, we'll allow that for now. Had to go up to 35 there. Break. So we'll go ahead and stay at 35. Same thing here. Tension, and tap, tap, tap. Good. Here I'm going to turn and face her. Tap. Good. Good. Good job. Break. So not too worried about her curving out here. As we start to do it and she starts to understand it, she's going to realize that the fastest way to turn the pressure off is just to go directly to me. So for now, we're just going to keep with it, and we're going to let some of the curving slide. We'll see what happens though. Staying at 35. Actually, we're going to go to 40. If you want to fix her paw. Yep, there we go. 40 and tap. Good, much better. Face her, tap. Good. Good job. Break. So same thing here. Add some tension and tap, 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 tap. Good. Tap. Good. So there I'm trying to stop her from curving more. Good job. Break. So we're at 50 now because of her moment where she was getting stuck over there. Same thing here. Tension. We'll stay at 50. And tap, tap, tap. Good. And as you can see, now that we've gone to a higher number and she's starting to understand what we're doing, good job. Break. She's not doing so much curving. She's kind of making more of a straight line to me. So we'll do one more of these. And tension, still at 50. Tap, 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 tap. Good. So again, here I'm going to give a tap. There we go. Break. All of that bucking and kind of going at the leash a little bit and yelping is all frustration because the whole time I'm pulling her towards me, but she's wanting to pull back. So that's why we're doing our best to work her through it. Now what we're going to do is move on to the next step. See if we can make it more reliable with the e-collar. So the only thing that's different here is I'm going to be tapping on the e-collar with a slack leash here, seeing if she's able to understand it with the e-collar, and then adding in leash tension if it's needed, if she's struggling. But we're essentially doing all the same steps. So here, I'm going to try and drop it down to, we'll stay at 50 just because she's still having difficulties. So here I'm going to have a slack leash. And tap, tap, tension, tap, 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 tap. Good. Good job. Break. So she's still having a little bit of trouble. We'll go ahead and increase. We'll go to 60 in order to override this kind of little bit of nervousness she's having. So slack leash at 60 and tap. Tap. Good. Good job. And break. So that one's better. And we were at a higher number and there was less yelping. So there you can see it's more frustration. And then again, still at 60, slack leash, and almost got ahead of myself. And tap. There we go. Tap. Tap. Good. Break. Go for another one here. Try for 65. Same thing, slack leash and tap. Good. Tap. 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 Good. So here I'm just trying to be more strict so that she closes the gap faster and doesn't do all this circling. Break. And we're doing a few extra repetitions here in order to get it consistent before we start labeling it, just because if we start labeling it now, it's not going to hurt anything. We're just not really going to get much use out of it because she's not understanding the command well enough. So same thing here. We're going to go to 70 and tap. Tap. Here I'm going to face her, tap. Good. Tap. Good. And break. Same thing. And tap. Good. Okay, she did a little bit of a sidewalk there, but she still did good. Still followed through, and that was with one tap. Break, so now she's starting to get it. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead, since she seems to understand it, even though she's struggling a little bit, we'll still move forward. We're gonna be doing the same process, except now we're going to be introducing the command of Luna come. After we say Luna come, we'll tap on the e-collar to reinforce it and then use leash tension as needed and follow through with all the same steps that we've been doing. Even if she starts to come to me with just the verbal command, I'm still going to do at least one tap on the e-collar just to keep it a part of the command and so that she associates the tap of the e-collar with recall. The reason why we want to do this is just because if things are, let's say, very busy, it's a busy area, or if Luna doesn't hear us give the command, then we still have that tap to be able to make the command happen. She's going to feel that and understand that it's a part of recall. She needs to go find mom or dad or whoever. So that's why we're still going to tap each time, just because it's a nice thing to incorporate into the command, especially in emergency situations or if she's unable to hear you. So we'll stay at 60, slack leash, and then after I say the command, Amanda will drop the short leash and we'll follow through with everything else. So we're at 60 and Luna, come, tap. Good. Tap, there we go. Okay, and we'll allow that for now, good job. But it's looking a lot better. Break. Same thing here. Luna, come, tap, tap, tap. Tap. Good. Good job. Break. And same thing, still at 60. Luna, come, tap. Good. Good, much better. So still not directly to us, but break. She's doing better about keeping herself on track and kind of correcting her own behavior there. So same thing here, slack leash. Luna, come, tap. Good. Good. Good job. Break. And then we'll do one more. Still at 60. Luna, come, tap. Good, so there she even started to come with the verbal cue. Good, good job. Break. You can grab her and then we're done. No, you're good. You can just kennel her up. Here's her remote. Thank you. So right there by the end of it, she was still a little wobbly as far as not making a completely straight path to us, but she was correcting it a little bit better where she would kind of go out a little bit and then finally get to us, follow through with the command, all with only one tap. So things weren't improving by the end there. Just gonna take a little bit more practice to really tighten everything up. But other than that, when practicing this at home, you can go ahead and do what me and Amanda did here as far as having the long leash, short leash on her, going back and forth like that. Or you can practice it by yourself as well. If you want to take Luna out to a field, have the long leash on her, have the e-collar on her, let her go explore, roam, do her thing, issue the recall command, and then follow through with all the steps that we took here. Again, any small obstacles that you're able to work her through, I would do your best to work her through it, just so that way you have the most reliable recall you can get, and you know that a few minor things here and there are not going to get in the way. Other than that, when practicing this command, try not to drill it out too much. It's not like the other commands where you can just constantly drill, drill, drill. You need to space it out for Luna, so that way she's not going out to a field and explore and expecting the recall every time, because what's going to happen is she's going to start to get glued to your side, not want to go out and explore a little bit because she's expecting the recall is going to happen anyways. So what I would do is mix it up. So let's say one day you do it 3 or 4 times at a field, maybe the next day you do it 1 or 2 times, and then after that maybe you take a break. So just always change up the way you're going to do it, keep it a little bit unpredictable for her so you get good consistent repetitions and she's not always expecting it. Another thing to keep in mind is that when working this command towards off leash, since ideally this is the main command that should be off leash, what you're going to want to do is work through phases. So first you'll start out kind of the way that we're doing it here, long leash on her, long leash in hand, just to be able to make the command physically happen. You always have control of her. Then the next step would be long leash drag in an enclosed environment. So playpen, fencing, yard, dog park, anything like that that's closed in. And what this is going to allow is you'll get another step further as far as more reliability on the e-collar, but you won't have the long leash in your hand to be able to physically make it happen as quickly. But since it's enclosed space, then worst case scenario, Luna's not going to be able to run away or anything like that. You always know that you're going to have kind of control of the situation and you can make the command physically happen with the long leash. The next step after that would be taking the long leash off but staying in the enclosed space, just so that way now it is kind of a more realistic off-leash recall, but in case of any emergency, you know that you kind of have control of the environment. Luna's not going to be able to run away. After each step along the way of doing those processes is consistent, then lastly, once you're feeling confident in it, once Luna has enough reliability and consistency with the recall, you can take her outside, go ahead and try for it off leash. So just keep in mind to make sure to take those steps so you can keep everything consistent along the way. Other than that, she did pretty well here. Had to help her understand that the fastest way to turn the pressure off is just coming directly to me. But again, as we keep practicing with her, getting more repetitions in, all of that will come over time. But she did really well. We'll go ahead and continue on with the rest of her training.